thing is so awesome. Wow, this new Grapple is a game changer. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danner and I've been converting an abandoned Home Depot shed into a tiny house. And today I want to show you this new Grapple that we got. This is a Catawba dual lid root rake grapple. There are all kinds of different grapples that we've been looking at, but the reason that we like this one, it has this nice flat deck on it, which is great for grabbing logs like we've been doing at the sawmill. It also has these dual lids that can clamp down and kind of do different forces. So if you're grabbing something that's varying in size, it helps a lot with that. So yeah, let's check this out. This thing is awesome, and obviously we're very new at this. I've never used one of these before. We've been talking about all of the repairs we've been doing to our tractor recently. It was kind of out of commission for a couple of years because we had hydraulic leaks, but before we got this, we had just the bucket that came on it. We had some bolt-on forks, and that was how we would do any kind of moving brush around. Before that, we would just drag stuff around with a chain. After our hydraulics started leaking, we kind of couldn't do any of that and ended up having to move some of these big burn piles by hand. with what this can do in about 30 minutes, it probably took us days to do before. So it's really gonna save us a ton of work. So in a previous video, we were talking about one of the newest mods we did to our tractor, and that's adding this skid steer quick attach. And that allows us to switch between the forks and the bucket and now our new grapple. So it's great that we can easily swap between those. To do the grapple was a little bit more involved. And by the way, this is a L4310 with the hydrostat. That's the tractor it is. And so we had to make some modifications to our hydraulics in order to be able to open and close the grapple. So on any tractor loader, there's two things you can do, and that's raise and lower the bucket and then also dump it or roll it back. And so in order to add that clamping of the grapple, we had to add this thing called a third function valve, which is a valve that is electronically controlled. And Dad, if you want to tell them a little bit more about this.
Yeah, well, we went with Summit's third function kit. And for anybody who has, like Danner said, this was the 4310, this L series. These are all done in about late 90s, early 2000s. There wasn't any valve that was exactly right for it, so we decided to just get the generic one for the 3901, 2501, the newer Kubotas, and build all of our brackets ourselves. Lindsay, another shout out to Lindsay. He's just amazing having his steel fabrication. But essentially what's different about this particular loader is that when you take the loader off, the controls go with the loader. They don't stay on the tractor. Some of them have them mounted in the rear here and they stay and you disconnect them. But in this case, we have our loader valves go with it. So we have a bracket that clears and allows us to do that. And then from this, the lines go out through to the front, and we needed a way to be able to disconnect it from the tractor or from the loader so that if we're using like the forklifts or something else, we have quick disconnects here. And we just went with ag fittings in our case. I know a lot of people do the flat face fittings and there's some great advantages for that, but we did the standard ag fittings and formed just a bracket, another steel bracket, another work of Lindsay. We've got to take everything off and paint it still.
It really is just a lot of little things to think about, where to mount things. And yeah, thank you so much. Everyone you have to say thank you, Lindsay, again, because he helped us so much with making these brackets. And then also just little things like this cover. We reused this from our original bucket that was on here, the way it was mounted. This was part of it. And Lindsay cut that off and we ended up using it as that new cover for those hydraulic lines.
Yeah, because on our tractor, we have solid lines, it's hard to see, but solid lines coming down here and they went across. And obviously with all the debris in here, we wanted to make sure that, if something comes through, doesn't, protects those from debris coming through. And then also just things like where you locate a third function valve becomes a challenge because you have to, roll the thing the farthest way and make sure you have enough hose. And then for all of this, we took the main hoses that came in the kit from Summit, and then we went to a local place and we're able to custom do different ends to fit exactly what we needed.
And it was really about time to get some new hydraulic hoses too, because unfortunately we have to park this out in the sun, and so a lot of our original hoses were getting kind of beat up from the sun. And so we took some time and redid a lot of these cables. There's only a couple places in the area that will crimp these hydraulic hoses. You need a big hydraulic press to do it. So we found this one place, C&T Auto. We brought the whole tractor with Lindsay's trailer, and we were just taking them all off in the parking lot, bring them inside one by one, and they were making us brand new hoses. So thank you so much to the guys at C&T. We told them about the channel, they loved it, they helped us out. But yeah, it's just great getting to go support local businesses around here. Also, thank you to Mike over at Catawba. When we originally contacted them about this grapple, he actually already knew about the channel and helped us out a little bit with getting this too. I mean, really with our tractor, it has never been this good since we had it. In the last month, we've done so much to just completely overhaul it, from just changing the fluid, greasing all the fittings, doing all the maintenance, and now we have all new hydraulics, We have the quick attach. We can go from forks to bucket to this grapple. And yeah, it's really just better than ever.
Yeah, and what was really fun about doing the hoses and stuff, like for example, these two short lines, these were ones that were really messed up. I don't know if we have any old video of how bad they were, but it turned out this was actually the amount we needed to cut off, and we didn't measure it. We needed to cut this amount off so that our regular lines that went to our quick attach here were the right length, and we had them put 90s on these. And then it turned out, we were sitting there looking, and it turned out these were there. So just by putting the new couplers on one side, we were able to replace both of those hoses as well. So really, we've gone through this hydraulic system from beginning to end. There's 1 or 2 hoses left that are original hoses, and you know, I mean, obviously 20 years or 25 years is a long time, you know, for hydraulic hoses in the first place. So it was long overdue. But you know, as much as the bucket was a huge change for us from starting with our TO20 and our TO35, we had, you know, that for doing bush hog work and, you know, dragging stuff around, like Danner said, on chains. And when we got this, it was such an upgrade to have that bucket and have that. And then as it slowly developed more and more leaks, and we had the hydraulic issues, and we were using it less and less, it just was. It was
we kind of went from luxury to just having to go back to dragging everything by hand. And ever since this tornado, it's just been brutal every time we try to clean something up. We've done some testing with this this week, and I want to play some of that footage for you of some of the cleanup that we're doing. We've been able to move logs easier than ever. It's just crazy how much we can get done. We've been able to clean up some of the tornado debris, which has been ongoing for probably over a year now. And yeah, we've just been able to get so much done already, barely even knowing how to use this thing. And then one more thing, on the back we have this counterweight that we've been using. You fill it with gravel, and it's really great for when you're picking up those heavier logs. One of the problems we were having with this is it didn't have any drain holes at the bottom, so it was filling up with water, especially in these tool holders. While we were doing all of our tractor stuff, we also drilled some holes in the bottom. We've also had this quick attach for our 3-point hitch for a while, and the original mounting on here didn't fit on there. And we asked Lindsay if he could help us make a new bracket for us, and he made us weld this for the first time ever, and I've never done any welding, and he just handed me the welder and told me to do it. When you pull the trigger on this, is it dispensing it? I think all things considered, I did okay, but I ended up punching a hole in it, and he had to fix both of our work. But that was kind of fun getting to weld for the first time. We've had a welder for a while that we haven't even taken out of the box, but that's kind of inspired us a little bit to try it out. Maybe we have to start working on our welding skills. But I want to show you guys some of the footage from this week. Just take a look at what we've been able to do with our new grapple. So we want to start by cleaning up some of this area right here. Behind me, we have a pile of cedar logs that was the first pile we ever decked. And eventually we want to deck all of our logs that we're going to be milling and get them all up off the ground. And so we want to start today by just cleaning up this area. We have a couple logs right here that are ready to go and ready to have some logs decked on them. And then also over here in this area, it's really hard to tell, but there's actually about 10 cedar logs hidden in all of this grass that we'd like to take out and start by decking those first. This is something that we've been seeing all over our property. Everywhere we've put logs in this entire field, nature always finds a way. Grass has grown up, and now even small trees are beginning to grow. This will be a nice trial run with the grapple. We want to take some time and get familiar with it, and this is some smaller stuff that'll be a little bit easier to deal with. And so we want to just go one by one and get them decked up.
really slow. Keep going. 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 A little more. 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 There. Tilt back.
So right now we're moving some of these offcuts that we milled with Alan while he was here. And this was actually one of the first things we moved with our brand new forks. And now here we are moving them with the Grapple too. So it's kind of versatile. You can use it with, kind of use it as a forklift, like this.
Go out. Open and go up, go up. You got it. Yeah, so this is all the debris that the bark that we pull off logs before we mill. And we've had to mow around that pile forever because we didn't want to take the time to rake it all up and move it with wheelbarrows. We've done it several times, but after a while you get tired of doing all that stuff by hand. And it's mostly a time issue, not a work issue.
clean up this area, starting with this spot where we had already started decking some cedars. Yeah, right when our tractor hydraulics started failing, this is kind of the last thing we were able to deck, and I guess the only thing.
Yeah, and so this is like 40 logs, 40 cedars, except for there's a couple persimmon that are in there that we stacked in, and they're all great. Most of them are around 8 feet, and they'll be perfect for fence posts. We need about between 60 and 90 posts to do the fence across the front. It depends on exactly what path we take, and this is a really good start. We have enough here to be able to do it. And right now,
and cedar it's so beautiful. It's hard to even tell right now because they all look gray, but as soon as you cut into it, it's that beautiful pink color that we're always loving. We built our front porch out of it, and we also we're going to do some stuff with our soffits with cedar as well. So as we're cutting those fence posts, we'll be grabbing offcuts of those to use for that too. This is great to have them up off the ground. We have a lot of logs in this field that are all the similar way, just laying on the ground. And so eventually we want to do what we started doing with this pile right here, and just one by one, take them up off the ground on some logs like this.
And these are all 20-foot plus cedars. We have a lot of 20-foot plus cedars, and if we walk over here, at the last count, we had like 150 cedar logs on the ground. It's hard to believe. Shout out to Eric. They were clearing some land, a farm near us, and so a lot of these came off that. But we have a combination of 8 and 20 foot. They were either cut, the first ones were all 8, and then the ones he brought later were all cut to 20 foot. And a lot of them are off the ground because they're stacked up high. But still, that being said, this is really the next area for us to tackle. If we can get all of these cedars moved over to there and have them in one place and start clearing up this land, because we have to do the same thing with pine.
But yeah, when Eric came up, he had a big trailer and he could just dump them, and we haven't really been able to lift them. So most of the time we've been dragging them over to our sawmill. We've seen your comments a lot. We've been wanting to deck these for a very long time, and so we're excited to finally we'll finally have the ability to deck them all up and get them off the ground finally.
They're gonna be heavy. We haven't yet picked up many of these. Some of them we may be able to pick, some of them we'll have to sort of roll them, but I think all of them we should be able to get them off the ground just enough. Maybe you can't lift them to the highest level of the tractor, but we can get them off the ground just enough to get them up on the bunks. And Danner, we want to show one of the reasons we're going to be slowed down over here.
Let's go check it out. So I think I showed this last year, but you guys know that we love doing some foraging and finding food that's just already growing natively on our land. And you can see this stuff that is growing all over these logs, this vine. It's called passion flower, and it has a fruit on there called maypop. It's like a native version of passion fruit that we have here, and it is absolutely delicious. Let's see if I can find one.
They're just starting to come in ripe right now.
You can see right here all these fruits. I also think I just stepped on one.
Why don't you go ahead
That's why they call them maypop.
Yeah. That one's probably right.
Wasn't the best break, but that's.
Oh, that one's perfect. That's better than what we had yesterday. Yeah, so I think these passion fruit, the ones that are native here, are just a slight bit sweeter. But just look. Last year was the first year, and this year is the second year. Just look at how much these spread. So I think what our plan is that we're gonna build a trellis out here and have them, because they like bright, direct sun. They also have these amazing flowers, and you can eat the flower too. They're actually good. You can grab a flower.
Really easy way to identify it. You see those strange looking flowers.
The flower kind of has that flavor of like honeysuckle. It's kind of like a honeysuckle flavor to it.
Yeah, if you guys see those right now, we're coming up on the perfect time to be picking them. And the best way to tell is just if they're feeling heavy and they start to kind of turn yellowish on the inside. Those ones are the best ones.
Yeah, and so like for example, this is a walnut that grew right in the middle of where our logs were. You know, it's just really crazy, all the stuff that grows up. If you don't stay on top of it, it turns into a forest again.
But I think we got the grapple now at a perfect time where we'll be able to recover. Maybe one more year and it would have started to get pretty bad here, but yeah, we can start going at it. But yeah, major progress. We were able to get lots of stuff cleaned up, and we're excited to get some more use on it, get some practice, get better, and clean up, and hopefully it should increase our efficiency around here. But that's gonna be a wrap for this video. I wanna give a big thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed, and also thank you so much to everyone that backs us over on Patreon. We really appreciate your support, and we'll see you guys next time.